Thanks so much for checking out this video. Today I'm going to be going through the 30 tips for your first 30 days in Raid Shadow Legends. And maybe you downloaded it 6 months ago, or it might have been too confusing, but I promise you that after watching this video, you're going to have a very clear understanding on what to do in your first 30 days. I'm not going to bog you down with all the beginner content that is not really relevant to you. You've just downloaded this game, you want to figure out what's going on. So I made this because I actually tricked my wife into playing this game, and then I realized that there's so many little different things that aren't really mentioned and all the different beginner guides. So I want to go through that with you guys today, and I promise it's going to be really quick. But if you have any questions or anything like that, make sure you go down in the comments, leave a comment below, and I promise somebody will get back to you and answer that question. I would highly recommend you download the game if you haven't already. Download it from the links in the description, because you get a whole bunch of different free items that come with it, because I am a content creator for Raid Shadow Legends, so you guys get kind of exclusive rewards for downloading from my links, so make sure you grab that. So starting this off, first tip number 1 is going to be pick Kale, or as my wife likes to call it, Leafy Green. This character here will be really awesome because it will deal a lot of damage in all phases of the game. It is one of the best 3 stars in the entire game, and you get it for completely free. I'm not going to bog you down with all the different things about it, but you will be able to use this character throughout pretty much end game. It's going to be an awesome, great character, and you get it for free. Tip number 2, make sure you join a clan as soon as possible. There's going to be tons of people that are going to be there available to give you some content information on this game, so you want to make sure you join that clan. If you don't have a clan, leave a comment below, or if you do have a clan, leave a comment below so you can get some people into your clan. Tip number 3 is if you spend money, any money on the game initially, make sure you pick up shards. These are what are used to actually summon champions. All the champions can be really useful, but whether it's 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star. So you really want to focus on getting some great champions. So once you acquire 2 champions that are really good, you'll be able to use it in a lot of different ways. Tip number 4 is always check your champions. If they're good, you can simply go down here, click on the index. Once you go to the index, you can find the champion and you can see what the champion is, or you can also pull it from your menu, click on it, click on the reviews, and you can see all the grades. And that leads me into my next tip, which is tip number 5. The champion reviews will always tell you what the character is good at. So it's by ascending order as far as the most amount of votes for that. So you're gonna know that typically people are voting on this the most, which means that this is where the character is most used and most effective. So just keep that in mind. And these ratings are really great because you can't even rate the character unless you own the character. So this will give you an awesome baseline as to whether or not the character you got was actually good. Tip number 6, save all of your 3-star heroes. Don't use them to level up your champions. So you want to make sure that you save those, because you'll be able to use that as extra resources to upgrade your champions that you really want to keep. So don't go and get rid of your 3-star champions. Don't feed them into it. You're gonna keep pretty much all of them, and then even if they're bad, you're going to use them to make your strong characters even better. Tip number 7 is your top 2 champions should deal damage to all enemies. So these are kind of the characters you're going to build and put in, you're going to use them the most, and these are going to be essentially your farming champions that are going to help you progress the game as much as possible, which leads me into tip number 8. Use all of your resources on these champions so you can progress as far as possible. Now, I know this might be controversial to some people, but you really need 2 champions that are gonna go into war. One of them that is perfect for you is gonna be Kale, like I mentioned before. You pick another one that will come along. You actually get an awesome legendary character just for playing the game for free for the first 7 days. So that's another awesome character that you can actually do. You want to put your resources into it, and then which leads me into tip number 9, which is any champion can go up to level 60. So again, that 3-star, you can bring them up, you can level them up, and then you can use them and they can grow and they can be just as strong as the legendary characters that you get. And tip number 10 is understanding the Cavern.
Oops, my bad.
You're gonna want to go in here, you put your champions into the Cavern. You'll see you'll be able to level them up. as well as you'll be able to use them to upgrade your skills. You'll be able to use it to ascend it. You'll be able to use it to essentially make it stronger. So this will really help you if you can't max up your character anymore. I'd recommend putting it in the tavern, see what needs to be done. There's what's called chickens, and you can, like I told you before, you can use champions to make these characters even better. Tip number 11 is understanding the triangle of affinity. So this is kind of like a rock, paper, scissors situation. As you can see, this is stronger than this is stronger than this. So you can basically color code it and see which character is going to be strong. If you go and you look at any boss battle or anything, it'll show you the character, and then you can figure out which team is going to be most effective and deal the most damage to this. So one thing though, the Void doesn't have, it's neither strong nor weak to anything, so that's going to be kind of like a neutral character. So just keep that in mind as you do that, as you build your teams. If you have strong teams that can go and face weaker teams, that will help you out. Tip number 12 is to put good lifesteal gear on 2 top champions. So you will get offers that'll come up as a new player. You're going to see it's going to give you lifesteal gear. It's like $30. Honestly, it's really worth it because the lifesteal gear is always going to be useful in all facets of the game. You'll eventually throw it on, even if it's not that great of stats. You're going to put it on a different champion in the end. And these legendary lifesteal equipment sets that you can get for like $30, you can use it, and even if they stink, you're still going to be using the life gear. So this will be really important when you're building out your 2 top champions that are going to pretty much do all the work for you and level up all your other champions. So you want to make sure that you have lifesteal, because what lifesteal does is it makes it so it heals the character. So I won't get into the basics of all the artifacts and all this stuff. That's for way later on, but you want to make sure you have at least 4 pieces of equipment of lifesteal on your top 2 champions. Tip number 13, the dungeon map is important. So you go here, you click there, and you're going to see this is going to have all the different dungeons that are going on. Different stuff will be helpful a little bit later on in the game, but the big thing that I want to focus on is tip number 14, which is the Dragon's Lair. This you want to go through. You're going to want to get to at least stage 7. The reason why stage 7 is so important is because that holds the best initial equipment for your brand new champion. So if you're not going to spend the money on getting good lifesteal gear, this is where you can go. You keep on fighting through number 7, which it won't take you long to be able to defeat level 7, and that is going to give you the lifesteal set as well as the speed set. And those 2 artifacts are going to be really great sets to have. So you want to essentially just go in here. If you don't have any equipment for those 2 champions, just keep on pounding away until you get some good stuff. Again, I'm not going to stress you out about the stats and what you should be looking for, what you sell, or anything like that. You don't need to worry about any of that junk. Just get some lifesteal equipment on your characters so you can progress in the campaign. So tip number 15 is you're going to want to get your lifesteal artifact gear to level 12, because that will give you the most amount of base stats. You're going to see what's going on with this. As you progress and you level up your artifacts, you're going to see it requires the silver, which is super important. This is what you're using your silver for. And once you get it to 12, you're getting all of your base substats to the highest percentage that you can get. And it also doesn't have a ton of failed attempts. So going further than 12 is a little bit costly, going up to 16, but 12 is a pretty good baseline that you can go through. It's not super mega expensive, but again, you're going to be using this lifesteal gear anyways. Tip number 16, this is super important. Don't stress the other artifacts on your champions right now. You don't need to worry about putting on this equipment. Actually, it's going to cost you money by removing it. You don't need to put it on your other champions. Put your top 2. Have the best lifesteal gear that you can get, and don't worry about any of this stuff. You don't even really need to worry about selling stuff at this point, because you have a pretty large inventory that you can get rid of. But having these artifacts, it's just going to confuse you. You don't need to worry about that. You don't need to outfit everybody. Don't put it on there. You're wasting your time doing that, because 95% of that equipment you're just going to sell anyways. So that's for a further guide and everything like that. Don't stress yourself out about the artifacts. just get the Lifesteal gear on it as soon as possible. Tip number 17 is the best way to level up your characters is going to be in 12-3 in hard mode. So as you'll see, you progress through the campaign, you've got easy mode, medium, and then hard. They say that 12-3 in the hard mode is going to be your most efficient way. There is a Lifesteal one, I think it's in campaign 5 in there, that if you want to, you can also farm that for Lifesteal gear. But 12-3, if you have your top champions that are at like level 50 or 60, you should be able to kill it with just those 2 characters, and then put 2 other dummy characters that suck on your team, and you can level those up as well too. So having those 2 champions allows you to kind of carry all of the weight for everybody. If they die, it doesn't really matter, because all your mission is to level up those characters. Because leveling up your dumb characters will allow you to use them to upgrade your main characters. So there's a whole system on that of turning them in and ascending them and then using them as what we call chickens. So you can do that. So you want to just get to 12-3. You're going to farm that stage. You can put any of your dumb characters, any of your good characters that aren't your top 2 characters in there as well. And you can level them super quick, super fast, because getting a strong team is going to be your next progression after these first couple of weeks. Tip number 18 is make sure you subscribe to these 2 YouTube channels. It's super important. You go to Hell Hades as well as Ash Raid. I'm going to leave the description in this channel. They've got so much, immense amount of information. It's really cool to see them, how much they've still been making content all this time. They're going to have very in-depth guides on a lot of different things. So you're going to want to make sure you subscribe to their channel, because you will get a ton of value out of them. Tip number 19 is make sure you are winning in the arena mode, because it will make your heroes stronger. So make sure you go in here. This is PvP. Again, it's going to be at your level as far as where you're at. Don't neglect it. You want to make sure you do that. Tip number 20 is make sure you participate in clan boss mode every single day. Doing this, even if your team sucks, you can go in, you get some progression in there. Once you join your clan, you're gonna help out. You want to do this, you get free rewards by doing it. It's a combination of everybody coming in and helping and fight and defeat it. So you just want to do that, participate in it as well. Tip number 22, check in with your clan and to get your chest, as well as get some stars. It's pretty easy to get multiple stars per the day. So every single day you go in, make sure you check in, and then you collect some stars, and that'll help progress your clan a lot. Tip number 23, this one's super, super important. Make sure you just log into the game every single day and just log in and get the login rewards. So you get these every single day. You click in, these rewards are going to be super important. You get a ton of free stuff just by logging in. It takes you literally a minute. If you do nothing, just log in, click the rewards, get that, and collect it for the day. Tip number 24, complete your daily quests every single day. This will take you about 10 minutes or so. You can go through, you got a daily quest, very basic things, because what that does is that it improves your weekly quests, and then that also improves your monthly quests. And this is a way to get a whole bunch of free shards for free just by doing like 10 to 15 minutes a day. It's really not that difficult, but make sure you don't forget to do it. Tip number 25 is challenges. They have to be done in order, so it's very important that you do this first. These challenges, they start off very, very basic level, so you want to make sure you do this first, because as you progress in the game, the other challenges that you get, they're going to be dependent on where you're at in the game. So you want to make sure you knock out these challenges first. Very super basic stuff that it starts off with, like 1-star champions that you got to do stuff. You got to get through the 1-star champions. You got to do that first, so as you progress, you have more challenges that you're meeting and everything like that. Tip number 26, the missions, they have to be done in order, but this is a collective thing. So this one's not as important for you to make sure that you're doing it first initially, because as you collectively do it, it's going to progress. And as you've done it, it will automatically tally that up. But you do have to do it in order. But it's not like you lose anything by not focusing on it. It's completely different than challenge, so make sure you take care of that. Tip number 27, I've given you a lot of value in this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get new player codes when they're released. So this month we have what's called Free Frog. You get this awesome champion just for downloading it as a brand new player. I actually pulled him in a summon shard the other day. and he's a really awesome character, as you can see here. So make sure you do that. All you gotta do, you enter in the promo code, it's free frog, and you get this for free just as a new player, and I love that Raid does that all the time. Tip number 28 is make sure you check the tournament section each day. As you go in and you progress, there's basic level stuff that you do that you can get a ton of rewards just by doing just random things. So you kind of want to do that, and you can kind of move your day around to do that. And then tip number 29 is make sure you check the events section every single day, because that will allow you to see what you need to do to get the events. And sometimes they're giving away free legendary champions just for doing some very basic, silly stuff. So make sure you log in and check that. And then tip number 30, the last tip for you guys, is make sure you share this video with a spouse or a friend. Because I will tell you, you will enjoy this game substantially just by playing with friends and family. I appreciate all the support. Hopefully there was some value. Let me know in the comments. I can't breathe right now because I got on so fast. I appreciate all the support. I'll see you on the next video.
Show no fear.